Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Sightless Voices, Unleashing Potential. I am your hostie with the mostie, Jennifer Parish. And today we are joined by a transformational leader who is directly impacting how people who are blind or visually impaired access meaningful employment. She is Miss Soraya Correa. Yay!
Hey,
she is President and Chief Executive Officer of the National Industries for the Blind, or the NIB. So y'all, NIB leads a powerful network of over 100 nonprofit agencies that are all focused on creating opportunities for people who are blind or low vision. And it is because of NIB, thank you, that I had been able to enjoy a 23-year career as a medical transcriptionist before I entered my role as being a manager and podcast host. But under Soraya's beautiful leadership, NIB partners across industries and government to expand and to get competitive quality jobs or career paths through programs including AbilityOne. Okay, so before we get going, we are going to, as usual, describe our set for the blind listeners. We're sitting in blue chairs with wooden tables beside us, and behind us is a white brick wall, blue lights, and a neon lighthouse sign. All righty. Hi, Soraya.
Hi,
Soraya.
Jennifer. Thank you for having me.
Very nice to have you here, so welcome. To start, could you tell us a little bit about yourself, your connection to the blind and low vision community, and your path to the NIB?
Sure. I retired from federal service in July of 2021. I spent 40 years in federal government service.
Wow.
With my focus was in acquisitions, but I worked both sides of the table, meaning I was a contracting officer at some points, and I was also a customer of the procurement organization. But I rose to the ranks of senior executive. In fact, my last job, the last 6.5 years of my career, were that of chief procurement officer at the Department of Homeland Security.
Nice.
So subsequent to retirement, I did a little bit of consulting, worked for the National Contract Management Association because I am an expert in procurement. And then a headhunter called me, they were looking for a chief executive officer for the National Industries for the Blind. And given my background, they invited me in for an interview. I wasn't sure that I really wanted to get back to full-time work. And I will tell you, just the thought of being able to help others to continue my career of service and just meeting the people that were on the selection committee just influenced me to come here and be a part of the National Industries for the Blind to support the employment of individuals who are blind, because all too often we tend to forget certain members of our society.
Yeah, and we're big.
I've always had a service orientation. That's probably why I spent 40 years in government and worked at various agencies, including the Department of the Navy, the General Services Administration, NASA, Immigration and Naturalization Service, and then, of course, the Department of Homeland Security, where I was there for basically almost 20 years. I was there from the day they started it. So
love it. Yeah, and NIB and the contracts that we get, that y'all get, have direct relationships with some of these organizations.
Exactly.
So that's great. So for those who don't know, can you tell us what NIB, or the National Industries for the Blind, actually is, and then your mission and top priorities?
Sure. So the National Industries for the Blind is one of two central nonprofit agencies that engage in a public-private partnership with the government agency that oversees the work that we do. That's the AbilityOne program. And what we do is really work with the nonprofit agencies to identify opportunities, business opportunities, be they contracts, be they subcontracting agreements, partnerships with private industry, or working with federal agencies to fulfill their needs in any areas of products or services that they need. And our role is really to help the nonprofit agencies secure these contracts, ensure that they have good employment opportunities for folks, and ensure that they comply with all the tenets of the regulations and the laws. NIB was established in probably about close to 90 years ago, under the Javis-Wagner-O'Day Act.
Yes.
And there's certain rules, very, very finite rules that you have to follow. So we make sure that we adhere to those rules, but make sure that we're creating great opportunities for individuals who are blind. Because what a lot of people don't realize is the level of unemployment that exists in the blindness community.
It's enormous. It's enormous. Is it like 70% or something like that?
So different studies have different numbers.
Right.
What we know, it's probably double the number of people are unemployed that are blind than those who do not have disabilities.
And that's such a shame.
It is.
Because there's so many people
so much
out
capability.
there. Yes, absolutely. Okay, so how does NIB define meaningful employment? Mm-hmm. And then across, you're across 100 agencies. So what types of jobs and industries are most active today?
Probably. So at National Industries for the Blind, like I mentioned, there's a counterpart organization. There are two of us, two central nonprofit agencies. Source America does all the other disabilities.
Right.
National Industries for the Blind focuses on blindness. We produce all manner of products through our nonprofit agencies, from pens, the famous government pen,
Yes.
to janitorial sanitation products. We do aircraft parts. We do food service items. I mean, the list is endless. You name it, we do it. But we also do textiles. We make uniforms for the military, and we make workout gear, et cetera. The other thing that we do is services. Contract management support is a large area, and of course I know a thing or two about that, but we do a lot of different professional services, be they cybersecurity, warehousing, distribution management, inventory management, et cetera. And what we call a meaningful career is the job that you want. And that's the best way to define it. It's what you want to do. If you want to do kitting, that's a meaningful career. If you want to work in the professional services environment, many of our folks are taking contract management training. They provide contract management service, but they go on to be certified. And many of them actually get hired sometimes by the agencies that contract with us, believe it or not. So it's about creating opportunity, and that opportunity should be in whatever career you want and how you want it. And we try to provide all forms of all forms of training and services to support folks in the careers that they wish.
I love it. Cybersecurity, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And the contract management, because let me tell you, we have a contract manager here, because contracts just blow my mind. It's just all kind of hard to access it with a screen reader and things like that. So that's impressive that you guys actually have a course on that.
We provide many courses, and we are partnering with the National Contract Management Association. I am a member of the National Contract Management Association, been there for years. They have a certification program. Yeah. And so we recently hired someone that came from NCMA, and they're helping us with our training to get folks certified, because I think it's a great career. I mean, I spent 40 years in it, so I can tell you it's a great career, and it leads to a lot of opportunities.
Absolutely. And I mean, obviously, all of us blind folks, well, not all, but majority, we work under some sort of contract. You know what I mean? So it'd be cool if we had somebody visually impaired to be kind of dealing with that sort of stuff. That's awesome.
Well, and look, it's a line of work that lends itself to individuals who are blind or visually impaired, because you have access to so many technologies that enable you to do the work. And frankly, I've given a few interviews where I've told people, you don't realize the capabilities that exist, the untapped talent that we have in this country when we talk about individuals who are blind and the capabilities that they bring to the table. Right. And one of the things I love to say about what I've discovered since I've been working here is probably the most innovative group of people, because you have to solve problems every day.
Absolutely. Okay, so for those who don't know, what exactly is the AbilityOne program, and how does NIB participate in creating jobs through federal procurement?
Sure. So the AbilityOne program is, like I said, the program that was started through the Javis-Wagner-O'Day Act. Yes, and the goal of the program is to secure employment for individuals who are blind or have other disabilities. And how we do that is through government contracting. So it's not a procurement program, it's really a jobs program, but we rely on government procurement to create those opportunities. And what we do is, through the AbilityOne program, there is a commission, and they approve what we make, they approve the prices that we set on our products. But what we do is go out and seek out government agencies, find out what they need, what are their needs, identify any products that we can do through our nonprofit agencies, or any services that we can provide through our nonprofit agencies. Those are added to what's called a procurement list. And once those items are added to the procurement list, federal agencies are required to actually buy those items from that list or those services.
Yep.
That's a really short, succinct answer for a very complicated process.
Exactly. That is no doubt.
Yeah. But what the beauty of it is that you're not locked into one particular product or service. If an agency needs an aircraft part, and we have a nonprofit agency that can do that, we can identify that, we can work with the agency to secure the contract, to do the testing of the product, et cetera, and make sure that we sell it. And then other agencies can buy it if that's something that they need.
Could you maybe share a little bit on some research about how many jobs or contracts have been supported over the years, both nationally and through our lighthouse, how that translates into local impact.
Sure. So I don't have exact figures on the number of contracts because that will vary year to year.
Yeah.
Like, for example, fiscal year 26 is starting out a little rough
Yep.
with the 45-day shutdown.
Exactly.
Hopefully we'll pick up that work. But I can tell you in fiscal year 25, our numbers were across the program, which includes our counterpart organization, about 41,000 jobs. From the National Industries for the Blind side, we represented about 5,000 jobs.
Nice.
And if of that 5,000, I'm going to say approximately 500 or more were veterans, by the way, because we do support and run a very strong veterans program.
Yeah, and there's a huge blind veteran community,
out there.
100%. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, we have several CEOs in our program, by the way, several chief executive officers of nonprofit agencies that are blind.
Nice.
And our veterans.
I love it. Yep. That's very, very cool. What does it take for public or private organizations, to build a truly inclusive culture for blind and low vision employees, whether that's like in accessible hiring processes, onboarding, technology, transportation, mentorship, all that kind of stuff?
Yeah. So the first thing is got to dispel some of the what I'm going to call misconceptions that are out there.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, the technology, it's implementing technology, accessible technology, so people can do their work.
Right.
And sometimes there are some minor investments that you might have to make for accommodations. Generally speaking, there was a study done, and I don't remember who did the study, but on average, the investment is about $300 per person, if that much, if you have to invest that much, because again, it depends on the nature of the work. But typically, it's about training the individuals, providing them accessible tools that they can use, the software that they need, the products that they need to get the job done, and then it's wanting to hire them. And what we found is folks are readily available to work. Sometimes transportation can be an issue. That's probably one of the larger issues that we see in the community. But most employers will help and adapt and identify ways to support people in the transportation needs.
Nice. Yeah, when I changed careers to become a manager here, the hiring process was very different, and we use Paycom now, which is very accessible for blind low vision.
Yes.
And I was like, holy moly, I can sign my own offer letter.
There you go.
Look at that, and fill out the application myself. Like I didn't need help, and that I'm smart enough, but I can't see it when you know what I'm saying. So it's beautiful how far the accessibility has come along.
So one of the things that we have a training program. We call it Insight. Mm-hmm. We stood it up probably about roughly 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And the goal of that program is to help people find employment, to marry up employers with employees. And this is not just federal. This is across the spectrum, across the private sector. So we run a job board, which is now free to our nonprofit agencies. People can load up their resumes, but we also provide training to help employees learn how to be good applicants, how to conduct themselves in an interview, et cetera, as well as providing technology training. We provide all kinds of training. We work with nonprofit agencies as well. Some of them provide some of that training for us. But we also provide technical skills, such as IT skills, getting IT certifications, information technology certifications, contract management, of course, and other training. Because our goal is if anyone wants a job and they need help, that's what we want to do. We want to support anybody out here who's blind who's looking for a job.
Absolutely. Okay. We're going to switch gears a little bit and talk about public policy.
Sure.
My
favorite topic.
Yay. Yeah, that's something that I was introduced to last year as I was chosen as one of the NIB advocates.
And I hear a great one, too.
So it's fun. And it's really, something that I never would have thought that I was going to be involved in. But, man, is it great. So let's talk about, from your perspective, and then I might give my little opinions, too. Sure. What policies or topics or legislative efforts need attention right now to strengthen accessible employment?
Sure. So first of all, we need, just in general, that reminder to everyone that we need to create accessible employment, that we need to give opportunities. Because as I said, this is a woefully underrepresented community that we're talking about. But also, the tools are out there. That's the easy part. It's making sure that people use the tools. So when we talk about the federal government, one of the things that I've been enthusiastic about since I joined, we've been pursuing a 1% goal for the Department of Defense to set aside 1% of their procurement spend for programs like ours, the AbilityOne program. Personally, I think that should be government-wide, but I'm willing to start small, but then I'm an ambitious person. I think the percentage should be higher, too.
There you go.
But that said, we also think that the Javis-Wagner-O'Day Act that created the AbilityOne program needs to be updated, right? Needs to be modernized a bit because to create job opportunities, you have to have some flexibilities. And back in the day when the act was written, I think it was written like back in the 1930s, and it was the last time it was updated was like in 1970. So it's time to modernize it. And with all the things that are happening right now in the federal government where they're modernizing procurement rules, I think this is a really good time to update the act and bring in some innovative thinking about how we can expand the program to create more jobs for people, be that through government contracts, subcontracts with the government, or even working with the commercial sector. So to me, those are some of the big ones that we want to pursue. The other thing that I would say is I'm going to talk a little bit about oversight and compliance, right? We can tell people what to do, but then we have to check them, right? We have to make sure that they're doing the right things, that they're creating the opportunities, and that they're doing it in the right way. So I think some enhanced oversight and compliance is necessary, especially when we talk about some of the government contracts and even some of the contractors that do business with the government, who are required, by the way, to support the AbilityOne program when they're working on a government contract.
Yes, exactly. And then also we have, this is one that it's kind of close to my heart because a lot of people that I know are struggling with it, is the cash cliff for SSDI. Yes, ma'am.
And we support that. We support the National Federation of the Blind, who I think is leading that charge, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
We certainly support that. We've done several surveys of our workforce to provide statistics for them, because I think that's an incredibly important one, and that's one that's been being pursued for years.
Yes. And come on, government, let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Let's make it. Well, look, what a lot of people don't realize, there was a study done, I think it was in 2023 by a company called Mathematica, an independent analysis. For every dollar that is spent on our program, we are returning $2.66 to the government. So as we employ people, we're actually saving the government money. And the SSDI cash cliff kind of slows that down because of the way that program works. So anything that we can do to improve existing programs in government, but also the employment programs that we're creating, it's going to help overall with the federal government. It helps us save money.
Absolutely. I mean, and upward mobility, too, because nobody wants to do anything else because they're like, I'm going to lose this whole check. And I mean, if you lose your check, I mean, that's thousands of dollars down, gone,
Yeah. Upward promotions, working more hours, even changing jobs. It makes it difficult. And once you lose the benefit, as I understand it, it's very hard to get it back.
Yes.
In fact, I'll share with you, I have a brother-in-law who is on SSDI or was on SSDI, and he was working. And I remember having the discussion with my husband years ago where he had to cut his hours. He had to cut down the work.
I had to do that early in my career too. Yep. And it's frankly, it sucks. Like, it's just like,
well, I was going to say, a bit unfair, right?
Yes. Like, exactly. So I don't know. Hopefully
but
they
that's an
figure this out.
extremely important initiative. And while we're not leading that charge, we certainly support the organizations that are doing it, and we'll lend any support that we can to get that going.
Absolutely. How can individuals and organizations effectively engage policymakers and employers to advance inclusive employment?
So I always like to say, tell your story.
There you go.
Jennifer, as a public policy advocate in our program, I don't think there's anything more meaningful than going out and sitting with the legislators and letting them hear your story, understand what you do, how you do it, how well you do it. One of the things that I always encourage our nonprofit agencies is to invite their local legislators and the congressional representatives to come and see our facilities. Because a lot of people, I think, have a notion that we're different. We're not. Our warehouses, our office buildings, they look like everybody else's. We look just like a Walmart or an Amazon.
Right.
In fact, it's one of the things that impressed me. The difference is, I think our folks work a little harder.
Yes.
They like it
really
a little
care
bit more.
about their
They
jobs.
really care about their job. They take great pride in the work that they do.
Yeah.
And I always joke around and tell people the thing that amazed me the most was the first time that I went to one of the textile manufacturers and I watched people sewing on a sewing machine. I can't sew worth a damn.
Nope.
Okay. And but I'm watching them and the precision and the passion that they bring to their work.
Right.
And when we talk about services, I've met teams that are working on contract management services, doing call center, cybersecurity. It's the love that they bring to the job, the care and the desire to do a great job.
Sure.
So, just give us an opportunity and we'll make it happen.
Yeah, I mean, and it's just so much harder for people to go out in the competitive market and have anybody pay attention to you.
Exactly.
So,
I agree.
So, yeah.
It's hard enough as it is, right?
Exactly. Right. You don't even have to have problems, and it's
Exactly.
a hot mess. So anyways. All right. So what should employers know about partnering with NIB and local agencies to build an excessive pipelines, for hiring and retention?
We're here. We're available. We bring a great workforce to you that has a lot of capabilities. All you got to do is partner with us. We will work with you. We love doing a little bit of everything, be that products, be it services. And the thing is that we're in all manners of industry, so it's easy to work. And those who have partnered with us actually talk about what a great experience it is to partner with us, because we're here. We're passionate. We love our work. We know our business. We know it well. When you look at a lot of our nonprofit agencies, they've been in the business for ages, right?
Yeah.
Decades and decades of doing the work, and decades of also learning to expand, to grow, with the program, to change, to adapt to the workforce that's coming out, but also to adapt to the technologies that are coming forth. So what I like to tell our partners is, come on over, let's have a conversation. Let's see what we can do together and how we can continue to grow employment, because really our goal should be to eradicate unemployment. It really should be.
Absolutely. All righty. Well, so we're about to wrap it up, but this has been a fun conversation. So do you have any final kind of thoughts and especially to those who are blind or low vision, on finding purpose and confidence and opportunities through working? Well,
so what I've always said to anyone that worked for me or worked with me, whether you're blind or not, you matter. You matter. You bring great passion and commitment to everything that you do. Don't let people steal your confidence. You're capable beyond what you think you are. And if you need help, there are a lot of places and organizations and people who are willing to mentor you, work with you, and help you. And the final thought that I will tell you, I personally will be glad to help you, because I just love what I do. I feel it's a privilege to have the opportunity to serve this community, and I look forward to doing it for quite some time.
Yes. Please and thank you. You're doing such a great job.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Yeah. So, and this is a reminder that when we align policy and procurement and purpose, we're building some pathways to equitable employment and very meaningful employment to all those who are blind or low vision.
Exactly.
So
meaningful
awesome.
careers.
Yes, careers, not just a job, guys.
That's right.
I mean, I'm living, breathing proof of that.
Yes.
So, okay. Well, all right. To our listeners, we hope this episode inspires action, whether you're just seeking a job or you're advocating for inclusive policy, or you're just looking to partner with an employer. We hope this inspires you. You can find more episodes wherever you get your podcasts and on our YouTube channel. Be sure to follow the Lighthouse of Houston on social media for updates, and visit our website at houstonlighthouse.org to learn more about our mission. Until next time, this is Sightless Voices, Unleashing Potential. Stay empowered and continue to break those barriers.